Yeah, you are listening to All Burgundy and Gold Everything, powered by the Urban Sports Scene and Fox Sports Radio 90.9 FM and 1340 AM, Hopewell, Virginia. I'm Wole, and I'm joined by co-host Glenn. What's going on, Glenn?
Nothing much, man. How you feeling, bro?
I- I'm good, bro. How are you, man? You
Man,
know,
yo, another day, man. Another day closer to the start of the NFL season. I'm doing well.
I'm excited, man. It's exciting. I was at camp. We'll talk about my experience in camp. But before we get into all that, let's get into the particulars. Hey, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts. Just search all Burgundy and Gold Everything. Also, tweet us at ABG underscore everything. Hit us up on IG at ABG underscore everything and like our All Burgundy and Gold Everything Facebook page. Also, make sure you subscribe to our All Burgundy and Gold Everything YouTube channel. If you're on YouTube right now, hit that subscribe button and also like this video, man. We're close to 400, so get us to 400. All right, man. Here it's time for the pregame. Here's what we have on tap. I was at, like I mentioned, I was at Commanders training camp, and we'll discuss what I saw in at camp. I saw a lot though, like a lot.
He saw a lot. He saw a
Like
lot.
a
Yo,
lot. I saw a lot. I was
you,
I was impressed, but I saw like a lot.
hey, yo, since you saw a lot, well, let's start with the receiving core, man. Let's start with the receiving core. Who how is the wide receivers progressing? You saw them today at camp. There's been a lot of talk about the wide receivers. How are they progressing with Jaden Daniels at the helm?
I the receivers look good. I know De'Ami Brown, who looked good against the Jets with that big 42-yard pass from Jaden Brown, excuse me. Jalen Brown. Jaden Daniels, I'm thinking basketball. He looked real like he got hurt. And I know there was reports saying that a resize shoe or whatnot. He tried to get back in there. He got hurt on a drill. You can tell he landed awkwardly. Um, he tried to push through it and fight through practice, but he ended up like going back on the sideline and just chilling for all the practice. But when asked after the game, I mean after practice, he said he was fine. He said we all right, but you know, you could tell like it's competition out there, right? You can tell like he didn't want to miss a snap. He wanted to take that advantage of his momentum of being a guy that's been kind of profiled right now, right? Being a guy who looks like he's doing good things in camp. So I think Diami, that I felt kind of bad for him because he's had such a good camp, and just for him to be sidelined at this particular point in time when he has all the momentum was kind of like you kind of felt bad for him. Also, Terry McLaurin looked good, man. He caught a cool fade from Jaden Daniels. He looked hungry, bro. So the receivers look all right.
I think all of them look hungry. I think all the wide receivers,
Mm-hmm.
and I think this host, it's competition, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Competition makes you hungry, right? Competition
Mm-hmm.
makes you that much better. And we know that the Washington Commanders are even adding to their wide receiver core. We'll talk about that a little bit. But
Yeah,
you mentioned Jahan Dotson, right? You mentioned
yeah.
Jahan Dotson, and there's been a lot about Jahan played the first half on Saturday, right? How
Mm-hmm.
did he look today, and what was his vibe, and where do you think Jahan will go from this point on?
I think Jahan looked good. I mean, initially when I got there, the he dropped he muffed the punt, right? So I was like, whoa, all right, he muffed the punt. Okay, okay. Then I was talking to some of my colleagues there, and some people were like, yeah, Jahan, he needs to step up. I was hearing that talk, and then all of a sudden, like he lit up, like he had a good performance in camp. You hear a lot about how maybe he didn't, he made it fall down off the depth chart, but he looked good. Jahan looked really good. Like he came out there and he caught a pass. Jaden threw him a dime on a route on a deep out. Caught that. Good separation of running routes. Jahan looked good. Like he looked really good after like I said after the muff punt. He was on one. I know a lot of people. I saw something on social media where it was all about his body language. I didn't see nothing. I didn't see bad body language. I won't lie. I think after the muff punt, he didn't. He was kind of like pissed at himself. Other than that, I felt like he was on one. Like I remember turning to Candy on turning to Candy. I was like, oh, like John, like just kind of get some like I'm like not the only one seeing this. He's like John on one. She said, yeah, he on one. Like he killing. So Jahan to me had a good practice, and I think it's a practice he needed.
But you got a lot of guys, right? They got the Miami Dolphins coming up, and again, these guys. There's only 3 preseason games, right? There's only so much you can do. There's only so many training camp you can go to, and again, you got guys like Jahan who he wears a chip on his shoulder. Let's be honest, right? Wasn't happy about the season last season. Wasn't happy about the progression or the way that he kind of regressed last season.
Yeah.
He heard all the chatter on social media, all the chatter from the fans, and he's refocused. Right? It's not only just Jahan that you see refocus, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that's on this staff and a lot of people that's on this team has been refocused because of the energy that's brought in by Dan Quinn and his coaching staff, right? That coaching staff has brought a lot of energy and excitement in the practice. And we talk about receivers. The Washington Commanders did something that made some people scratch their head this week, right? Yeah. I want your thoughts about it. They brought in Martavis Bryant. They brought in Martavis Bryant. How did he look out there? And do you think Washington is doing too much? Was this a luxury situation or was this a necessity, right? To bring Martavis Bryant into camp, knowing that you already had Jamin Brown. You got Jamin, you got Jahan, you have Terry McLaurin, you got McCaffrey, you got Allen. You have a lot of receivers that's already there. Did the team need Martavis? Do they need Martavis Bryant, or is that just a luxury item, or is it a necessity? We'll start with you, Wole, since you was at
camp. At camp, he didn't really do anything that stood out to me, to be honest with you. So to like, he didn't do anything. He's just getting acclimated. You know what I mean? Like, obviously you can see that, like Coach Quinn said, what he brought to the table is height. That's something you could tell that just stood out. He's 6'4", 6'4" and a half. So he's the tallest, probably the tallest. He is the tallest wide receiver in the building right now. And but it's a guy who's 32 years old, man. So I don't know what you think you're gonna get out of him. He hasn't played in the season, in the NFL season, like 6 years. So when you look at it, it's like, all right, what are you gonna really get out of him at that? I mean, I look at him as a camp body, to be real with you. You still got the kid Bryce from Stanford that was on their practice squad last year, who worked out now, has an opportunity to make the team, who's 6'4", who can fill that bill in terms of height. And also he's younger and he's a guy who's made some plays at camp. So I don't know, in my opinion, I don't think that he is truth be told. I don't think he's making the team, but I could be wrong. I mean, he at a time he was one of those receivers that you thought had a high ceiling at Pittsburgh. But again, he's 32 years old. He's had issues off the field with drug tests and whatnot. You know what I mean? I'm not one to ill on somebody like that. I feel like everybody deserves another chance. But just off of what I saw in camp, he didn't do anything at this particular time. But that doesn't mean he's not going to. You know what I mean? That was his first day at camp.
Well, we got my man Mo that joined us. Hey Mo, your thoughts on Martavis Bryant and the Washington Commanders signing him? Was it a necessity or is it a luxury item?
I mean, I think it goes back to the old adage that height, weight, speed. Height, weight, speed is always a thing that GMs salivate over. Being a football coach myself and on the high school level for a number of years, I've always kind of like been shady towards high weight speed guys. I feel like they get a lot of chances, right? Because everybody wants to get that last squeeze of the orange. And I think this is just one of them kind of signs. Everybody, I think the Commanders is trying to see if there's any juice left in that orange, given the fact that he is the more physically imposing receiver compared to everybody else on this roster.
Yeah.
Wole noted earlier, 6'4", 210 plus pounds. But he hasn't played in the NFL in about 7 seasons, right? He signed with 2 Canadian football teams for a while and never played in the game. He spent time in the Indoor Football League, the Fan Control League, as well as the XFL. So, like, clearly he's been trying to make a comeback. Yeah. I just don't know what you're going to get out of a 32-year-old wide receiver who hasn't played in the NFL in about 7 years. With his suspension history, probably like a total of like 8 years, to be honest. I think that he does bring a dynamic that most of the other receivers on this team do not, with his height and his measurables. I think if you could get a player that can get his legs back under him, possibly get a practice squad look for a couple of weeks, and then you may probably get a red zone target at best. I don't think there's no revitalizing his career at this point. I don't see a place where he comes in, he learns this offense like quickly, and Jaden finds some chemistry with him amongst the other receivers he has to find chemistry with, and he becomes an integral part. So I think there's a lot of wishing and praying with this move here, but like it is the GM's job to do his due diligence on any prospect that comes about, and he was available. So let's see what he got.
My man Deluxe, man, was good up, homie. He said Brian could end up on the practice squad and teach Tremaine something while there. Yeah, I actually think Tremaine. Yeah, Tremaine. I think Tremaine Bryce Tremaine. I think Bryce Tremaine. Bryce.
Bryce Tremaine.
Bryce Tremaine, right? Bryce Tremaine. I think he has an opportunity to like make the team. I just feel like if you're gonna go with somebody, if you're looking for height, you already got a kid in your roster who's younger, who's young, who fits that build and has also made camp plays. You know what I'm saying? Like I would understand again if we're talking about the Bryant that we saw in Pittsburgh, and he's played some consecutive seasons in the league, then you know what you got. But you're going off of somebody who's been out of football so long, bro. This is not, no disrespect, but it's not like we talking about like Randy Moss taking a break from football, or we talking about Terrell Owens taking a break from football. We talking about a dude who, showed promise, but it wasn't like he was one of them. You know what I'm saying?
Right. He was all right.
Yeah, he was all right. Like no doubt, he was all right. Like I get, all right, you want to kick the tires on somebody was dominant in the NFL, was like one of them. Like if Calvin Johnson came back and said, "I want to play football," you're gonna be like, "Yes, let me kick the tires on it." You know what I'm saying? But like a dude who's missed that many years in the league, and if you one of them, and we've seen this, if you're one of them taking that type of break, or whatever the suspensions are, we seen it with what's the old boy from who went to Baylor, who got so many opportunities every time he Gibbs was he?
Nope.
You know what I'm talking about?
Gordon.
Josh Gordon, thank you, but thanks.
Yeah,
Josh Gordon got so many opportunities, so you knew he was super talented. And how many tests he failed or whatnot. So he was still getting opportunities. He wasn't just being on practice squads. People were trying to put him on a play, man, make him play on Sundays.
Man, when he did play on Sundays, he did well. You know what I'm saying?
I would say that's what I was going to get to, Glenn. Forget the failed test. Like even in his attempts to come back, he never regained his form.
Yeah,
he never regained his form. He was much younger. He was much more close to being in the NFL the season prior. Like his suspensions were like 1 year and coming back, or a couple of months and coming back. Mm-hmm. So that's different.
Yeah. And he also played with Tom Brady. So he ended up with, so that still didn't revitalize who he was.
Tom Brady, Russell Wilson. He played some guys.
He had some guys, man. My man George said he could be great for us in the red zone. I feel like it's hope. I think it's hope because when you see somebody tall that's different from your receivers, you're like, oh, he could help us out. But again, it's like he hasn't played ball in such a long time, man, in the NFL with real comp.
Man.
To Georgia's
go ahead.
I was saying, man, just trust Zach Ertz and send it and call it a day.
Nah, bump that. When you're in the red zone, run the football. It's really simple. You're in the red zone running football, but
there's a lot of other factors to that one, though, Glenn. You know that
it is a lot of factors. But if you're within that 10 yard line, man, you run the football. But it's just to me, it's a lot of receivers, and there's some receivers that have to go. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You're adding to this. You're making your decision harder because you have as Wole mentioned and you mentioned, there's some young guys who are doing well.
Yeah,
there's some seasoned guys who are doing okay.
You
look at his roster now. You got, like I said, Dahami. You got Jameson Crowder. You got Jamin Davis. You got Luke McCaffrey, Terry McLaurin, Brian Pringle, Marcus Jack Saint, Mitchell Tinsley, Bryson Tremaine that we mentioned earlier, and Olamed. You bring in Martavis Bryant.
Yeah, you got
like who you because you can't keep everybody.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, my thing is,
but a lot of those guys are like,
but see, this is the thing. I know you're gonna say a lot of those guys aren't whatever, but I'm not gonna argue.
Brian Pringle could go.
Yeah, but I'm being real. But at the end of the day, we're still talking about 32-year-old dude, and it's you're on a rebuild. At the end of the day, it's a rebuild. Why are you bringing in somebody who's again? We're talking about. I I'm not gonna knock this dude. We're talking about Martavis Bryant, dog. Like, what are we doing here? Like, real talk. What are we doing?
Yeah,
This is,
no, it's real
this
talk
is
about
Chris-
it. It's part of the chemistry of the team, right? What you bringing in is like GMs making move. We can't say that everything Adam Peters has done has been great. To me, this is not a good move to bring a 32-year-old guy in the camp who you're probably not going to keep anyway.
Yeah.
Right?
I would
You
say-
need to look at the board. He ain't the top guy on the board. So again, what are we doing here? Are you doing him a favor? That's the questions that and why would you break up what you already have? You should already have enough in the room. You don't need
I think this is.
if it's T.O. at 32, good. But it's Montavious Bryant.
I think this is a favorite Kingsbury. I mean, I think he just wants to see a different type of receiver in his offense and see if it can work. And if it can't, then
I think it's favorite Kingsbury. I think it's a favorite to Quinn because he coached him. He saw him in Dallas in a practice squad in Dallas, and they both. I think they have a relationship with him. He practiced against them. He had to practice against their defense.
I was from the mindset that Kingsbury just wanted to see a different kind of receiver.
It's possible, but I feel like he could have got somebody.
Because remember when he was in Arizona,
he has.
I will give him this. When he was in Arizona, he had one of every type.
Yeah.
He had one of every type, like legitimately, like a 6'4". This guy, he had and then he had from 6'4", 6'5" to Rondale Moore. You know, like he's into that kind of thing. I mean, like from what I've seen in his coaching history, he's into having a plethora of different type of gadgets. So that's why I thought Cliff King was very early. But then when you bring up the DQ situation, I see what you're doing.
Yeah. Deluxe said, just thinking an experienced 6'4" wide receiver could show a young 6'4" wide receiver technique that the other wide receiver can't. My thought was more about benefiting Bryce Tremaine. I mean, I hope he. I mean, if he still has the game, if he has the mental ability to help him out, all for it.
All for
it. George says, does Bryant still have his speed? I don't think so, man. I don't think he got his same speed. He threw kickoff returns back in the day or punt returns back in the day. Let's kickoff returns.
It's hard to keep 4.3.
Yeah, I don't think he has that type of speed anymore, bro. I ain't gonna hold you.
You can't even open up that long in indoor football.
Yeah, I don't know. George, man, what's up, George? I know George couldn't make it. He says, is the Bryant signing a sign sending device?
It might be. It might be sending a device to a lot of guys that on the roster, even the young guys, even the guys. Paul talks about it a little later. The guys that are not that good in the room, right? He has it's to the message to everybody. There's a competition. As I mentioned when we opened up, this team has competition in a lot of positions, right? There's people who are competing for spots. There's guys competing for roster spots. There's no give me. All right, there's a few guys who are hangovers from the Ron Rivera era. The rest of these guys, majority of these guys are Dan Quinn guys. And they got they're making a statement and they've got to prove themselves. That's why you bring extra guys in to push the younger guys or guys who feel like they're comfortable, right? You take that guy to push them. And that's where I think that's happening here at Washington. And we'll see what cream rises to the top.
My man Paul said, because the room isn't that good. Paul, you be hating hard, bro.
I mean, it don't got to be hate, man. There's a lot of question marks around. Like, I mean, whether it's a lot. Jahan is a first-round draft pick, and he's a question mark. People question why he played the whole first half this week. Or I mean, he's going into his third year. They have to make a decision on his option this year, right?
It's the third year. I don't think your option is like your
fourth year.
After your third season. After your third season, they make the decision on whether your fourth is too late.
Yeah. I may be incorrect. I thought it was after
they got to make the decision after this year.
After the third. Yes.
After the third.
Yes.
Diami played, right? Diami is making plays. They're talking about him more in the rotation a little bit because it's his last year of his contract, of his rookie deal.
Yes,
right? So Diami's auditioning for 31 other teams too.
He is definitely auditioning.
Yeah, so like you said, cream rises to the top. So I think it might just be a smoke screen. It probably is just a smoke screen just to keep that idea of competition steadily coming in. Because like everything is against Martavis Bryant making his team right now.
Yeah, I can see that. My man Michael Underwood said this new receiver deserves a chance. He's more needed than Forrest, in my opinion.
Mike started.
Man.
Mike started trouble.
I don't know the last time y'all watched it.
It ain't trouble.
Bro, all I'm saying is this dude hasn't played ball in 6-7 years, bro. He's cute, but and he's 32 years old.
Right, and hopefully we get to see him play. Guess what? Hopefully we get to see him play.
Like if you're I like this one. I like this one by Deluxe. I'm gonna read. I like this one. He said, Cobb said that it also helps give the defense another type of wide receiver to practice against. I like this. I like the thought process. My thought is camp body with the purpose. I agree with that. I like that. I totally like that. My man Taj, what's up? Taj said, "Well, time to look at the receiver class for the next draft, next year's draft." You know I wanted Marvin Harrison Jr. But that's a whole different discussion.
They weren't gonna do that. They weren't gonna do that.
No, I'm messing with you. So I thought it was after four for first rounders and third for second rounders. I don't know what he's referring to.
He's talking about the year contracts.
Oh, contracts. Yeah, got you. Yeah, exactly. That's true. Paul, Wole, they was 4-3, 13, and Jahan, what isn't that physical with regards to blocking? All right, so I watched Jahan block today. He wasn't that bad either. So, but blocking, he's not that type of dude, though.
It wouldn't matter anyway, because Martavis Bryant would have to play so much time on the field that it's not realistic. Like,
yeah, I know, I agree. I agree. So,
guys.
The thing about like the whole, some people are trying to knock Jahan. Like, this is the thing. Like, I don't not like, dude. Like, he's a third-year player. He's a third year. This is his third year.
This is his third year, third system.
Yeah, first year was good. He was playing really good ball, and he got hurt. That's what happened. So then he had a second year was a sophomore slump. What happens it happens in sports.
Eric Bieniemy happened to him.
Yeah. So you can say that too. Right. So you can say that too. No, real talk. You can say that too.
This is his third offensive coordinator.
Yeah. So basically, like for me to like, I'm not one of those people to say like Jahan is not good because of what we saw last year. We didn't say that after year one. You had arguments that people thought he was on the trend to maybe possibly be better than Terry. You had people had that make that argument. Mm-hmm. So like that don't disappear. Like you said, and like Mo said, a lot of people on the offense struggled in year two. Terry struggled, probably didn't have his better years under Eric Bieniemy. So Jahan, as a second year player, didn't either.
Terry needed every catch to get over
1,000 yards. Exactly.
Every catch.
We all are illing on Jahan from basically from last year. It ain't really from this year, it's from last year. So I'm not saying Jahan played great last year because he didn't. He dropped some passes, some key passes. So I'm not saying Jahan doesn't deserve blame, but I'm just saying like we gotta pump our brakes when we like act like Jahan is like a crappy football player. Where
if Jahan never dropped the pass last year, Wole,
yeah,
they would still be mad at the numbers.
Exactly. I agree. So I'm saying like there's more factors. We gotta like add in more factors than just him.
More factors. And one of the biggest factors to this is who's throwing him the ball. Who's throwing all these receivers the ball?
Yeah, that's
the biggest factor, right?
Yeah,
and that biggest factor is Jaden Daniels. Right? Jaden Daniels is the biggest factor to all receivers. So
I guess in that too, if you believe in Jaden Daniels, and watching him play, he was sharp as hell in camp today. Like I ain't gonna hold you, he looked good.
Right.
He looked good in camp. So today, and so if you believe in Jaden Daniels, Jahan's gonna be all right. If you believe in Jaden Daniels, Jahan's going to be all right.
Isn't this Jahan's third offensive coordinator, third quarterback?
Yep.
Yes.
Third quarterback?
Yes, yeah.
Third quarterback.
And last year's quarterback the first year quarterback?
Yep.
Yes.
That Heineke was just Heineke?
Yep.
Yeah. Heineke has some Heinekes.
People got to make this make sense, man.
Yeah. So
I found myself getting Jahan's
but again, you have fans who wanting big numbers, right? They want to replicate what they saw the year before. It's so many different variables, right? You added pieces and parts. You added, a running game to it. You had a quarterback who played one professional NFL game. So as you guys mentioned, again, everybody, it wasn't just Jahan numbers that was down. It was everybody's numbers that was down. So when you talk about it, just don't say, oh, Jahan had a bad season. No, everybody had a bad season, from the tight ends to the wide receivers to the running back. It was everybody's numbers were down. And again, this offense did not rank well in the NFL. So again, forget last year, forget Jahan's numbers. Give me the here and now, right? The here and now, what he's done now, what is he doing now? Last year's in the past, whole regime is like being an old girlfriend. We don't talk about her anymore. We just move on to a new one.
Hey, Todd said, my concern with Jahan is it appears to be mental. His strength to me was his hands, and it seems now he is He's in his own head, dropping passes that he normally makes. All right, he hasn't dropped. All right, this is the thing. He hasn't dropped any passes yet. He hasn't dropped anything. He bobbled that one pass. That's all he did. He didn't drop anything.
Okay.
He didn't drop any. And I'm gonna tell you, I was in camp. He didn't drop nothing. He didn't drop anything in camp. The only thing he dropped was a muff. He muffed the punt when he was doing punt. He was doing kickoff. Or he was doing punts.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. Truth be told, he burnt his corner. He out routed his corner in practice today. Like he put in work today. Didn't drop anything, man. He didn't drop anything. That's what I'm saying. Like, I know it's easy to say like the drops were last year. Are we still judging him off last year? We're judging off last year. That's different. But this season, drops ain't.
He had 5 drops
last year
of the whole season.
Yeah,
on 83 targets. 5 drops. Like, it's like lazy.
It's because the Eagles game, bro.
Analysis.
He will remember the Eagles game.
It's just the
analysis. It's not about the drop. Well, you just said it. It's not about the drop. It's when the drops happen, right?
Yeah.
It's not. Receivers drop footballs, right? They miss things. But when the drop happens in the end zone, when the drop happens at a first down marker, when the drop happens, you know what I'm saying, where they can move the chains or score to win a game, and that's when people look at it and say, you know what? There's a difference. Again, he shook all that off from what I'm hearing. And what Wole said, he shook all that off. He's ready in camp. We saw that last week. He shook stuff off. Hey, he's ready to play a new season.
But Glenn, like anybody that can look that deep into it, right, should also look deep into the fact that what do they typically say about wide receivers? Give them the ball what? Early and often.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you think your player has a problem dropping the ball, you give him the ball early and often.
Early to get him a rhythm.
You keep him involved. You keep him a rhythm, right? You get him a good lather in there, right?
Yeah.
And are you talking about him dropping the ball on key first downs? If that's his first target of the game, or if that's I can't be all the way left on one side to make my argument, but like a lot of the times, Jahan wasn't seeing the ball a lot.
Nah, he wasn't
seeing the ball a lot. Right? So if you're not seeing the ball a lot, of course you're going to have those, as you said, it's mental. You're going to have those concentration drops because you're ready to make a big play. I also seen Jahan make a play that he shouldn't have made against the New York Giants last year.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So, like, the ability is there. They got to give this kid a chance to have, like, he's been in 3 different offenses, in 3 different positions, right? Like, in 3 years, with 3 different responsibilities. Like, that's not fair to anybody. It's not fair to any individual player. It takes a certain level of player to be able to overcome that. And if that's what you're faulting them for, then you haven't given them enough time because we haven't even seen year 3 yet.
Here's what my man Paul said, and he still got issues getting all press coverage regardless. I mean, he can play.
I haven't seen much of that. I'm not gonna.
I will say. Huh?
I think people lump up a lot of things.
I think they do too.
I've never seen Jahan have a hard time.
Yeah, I don't think it's. There are people physical with him, and he's a smaller dude's gonna struggle a little bit, but it's not that serious. But even to be honest with you, this is my argument about like the whole Diami, Jahan, whatever. Like you can put him in the slot. He's not struggling getting all press in the slot. I'll tell you that much. He's not.
That extra yard is a problem.
Yeah, he's not in the
that
slot.
Extra yard is not a person in the league that probably touching. He's slippery, man. The kid got punt return ability. Like after the catch, like he got wiggle. Like I think a lot of people have been lumping up a lot of things on him. Like I find myself being a Jahan supporter just because everybody hates on him. I mean, like,
I support him.
And you a Giants fan? That's the wildest thing. You a Giants fan?
It's crazy, man. Like I find myself having to support him because I'm like, no, y'all are wrong about him. Like what are we not seeing?
My man, hold on. My man, Deluxe said, Kingsbury even said that it's Jahan's 3rd system in 3 years, and he's working hard to adjust and expects him to do well once he's really comfortable with what they do. I agree. That's why I'm like, he's playing a little longer. That's how I looked at it, to be honest with you. After Ray explained it to us like the last weekend, at first I was like, yeah, maybe Diami's taking his slot. Then I was like, you know what? When Ray said his point, I was like, it makes sense. After thinking about
anybody that knows a Cliff Kingsbury offense knows that he always wants a fast receiver on the backside.
He does, though.
Mm-hmm. He always wants a fast receiver on the backside. Diami fits the bill in terms of that because Diami, no matter what he ran the 40, like he's always typically deep.
Yeah, 4-4. He run a 4-4.
And he catches the ball pretty well down the field. Like 50-50 was a good thing for him coming out of college. Yeah. If we remember his draft,
his profile,
right? His profile, like so that certain pieces fit, certain abilities fit. It doesn't make it doesn't make that person better than the other. It just makes the offense flow. For instance, at the preseason game we watched on what was it, Saturday, right? At noon.
Yep.
They went 4 wide and put Austin Eckler in. What's the first thing everybody thought? Pass.
Pass, yeah.
He ran off tackle. Got about 4 to 5 yards, right? Set up the boot that JD took around the corner, right? So there's a lot of nuances to this offense that's going to require everybody. Like, if you're worried about Jahan Dotson, I would say, especially with Cliff Kingsbury, say he played 3 different offenses and he has some catching up to do or whatever, however he phrased it. Get him the ball early with the quick game, the things that he does well, because you get the ball in his hand right now, he can use his punt return ability, his natural ability, right?
That makes plays.
Like crossers across the field where he doesn't have to think. You can do that until he figures out this offense, because it is realistically his 3rd offense in 3 years.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, he'll progress. Again, he'll learn his offense. He's learning his offense. We saw Wole say he saw him being smooth today at camp.
He looks smooth today, bro. I'm sorry. He looks smooth today.
I'm sure every day. At this point, you should be getting better, right? So we'll see again. See Wednesday. I mean, see this weekend when they play Miami, right? Again, we got another live. I believe there's live practice this week too, right?
Yeah.
They had live practice this week.
That should be Thursday. Thursday should be Thursday and Friday.
Thursday and Friday. So we see one-on-one competition. Then we see how they can go that way, right? It's Tuesday. They're getting ready for a scrimmage against Miami, which is a test, right? Which is a different type of test. This is a playoff team, so we hopefully see guys like Jahan Dotson, see guys like Terry McLaurin, and those guys progress, and along with Jaden Daniels, see him progress as well. Playing a team like Miami, who has a solid defense, a solid secondary, it's a matter of time.
George said Jahan's problem is the same. I think I said the same as Forbes. How does he compare with Olave, who Washington could have drafted at 11?
Olave didn't have Heineken. I don't think it's the same, George, because Olave went over there. He's the number 1. Olave gets all the targets. Like Jahan came here, he's going to be a number 2 regardless of the fact, right? So the quarterback play down there is a little bit
better than
the quarterback play has been here. Like, you can say whatever you want. That's the same system over there. Olave's not having to learn 2 or 3 things, right? Like, that's why I don't like evaluating players based off of the player that you could have got, because systems make people.
They make players. They do. That's true.
Systems and other people around them make people. So, Taylor Heineke to Sam Howell to JD, and with all the great things that we think JD is going to be, we don't know for sure yet, right? Until he plays an official game. So he has 2 years with 2 quarterbacks that you can say were We remember you during the Taylor Heineke days, Wole. So
I ain't saying nothing about Taylor. I'm not saying nothing about Taylor Heineke. Heineke going to try to kill me.
Look, we don't have to worry about Taylor Heineke. We got to worry about Jaden Daniels. You say he was at camp today. Jaden Daniels, what did he do that impressed you at camp?
Man, his arm was lively. He was accurate. The timing was perfect. He threw it like I mentioned earlier. He threw a back shoulder touchdown pass to McLaurin. Like it was a perfect pass, perfect placement. He hit Zach Ertz on a pass that Jeremy Reese had a chance to break it up or pick off, but he threaded the needle and got it right there. He looked good, man. Real talk. Like, and Mo, I keep it a buck when talking about quarterback play. I don't even get into all that. And again, I like to see the only things I would like to see him play against like better comp on defense, because he was doing that, like rotating the defensive guys often, but he still was doing it against everybody. But
he's showing command, right?
He's showing command, man. He looks good, man. I won't lie. He looks good. He does. He looks good. The ball, like you want to see it in live action with real pressure, but he gets the ball out quick and he's decisive. So I just feel like I was there, like other than the day I was there initially, like a couple of weeks ago, and today was the best, like the absolute best. Like if you told me, like, I wouldn't think that the person I watched today was a rookie. That's how good he looked.
So he's growing.
That's a passer. Yeah, that's a passer.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. Hey, but you also was at practice today, man, and you spoke with the guy that we talked about earlier this week. We talked about him on the post-game show, and he played well into the third or fourth quarter, and that's Jamin Davis, man. You talked to him about his move to be an edge rusher, his overall growth in performance. And so we're gonna play that clip right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Of Jamin Davis.
All right, this is Wole Kenzo. Wole Kenzo, all burgundy and gold, everything here with linebacker Jamin Davis. Type you call you linebacker or DN? What I call you?
Anything that's gonna get you to that ball.
I feel you. I feel you. So on Saturday, you made a couple flash plays. In terms of your work, how did you feel you did Saturday?
Work in progress. I mean, it felt good to get out there and get a chance to really see live action, doing something new. So my whole thing right now is just add to the resume at the end of the day. Going out there, doing whatever they're telling me to do so I can learn and grow and just do what I can to become an elite player.
Okay, so you got a big game against Miami on Saturday as well. So what do you feel like what you learned from Saturday against the Jets, what can you bring to the table against Miami?
That initial explosion off the ball, for real. That was one of the things that I seen on film that we went back and watched that I feel like I can grow in that area a lot more and then eventually become unstoppable with it.
And do you feel like it's a blessing that you are able to now do multiple positions, multiple situations to be a successful NFL football player?
Absolutely. I mean, like I said before, the more you can do at the end of the day, that's going to give you a chance to extend your career as long as possible and go out there and ball out. So, I mean, they keep giving me different things and different tasks and roles to add to my resume. So I'm going to go out there and put my best foot forward and keep growing and doing whatever I can to help this team.
All right, great. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So, you know, he showed out. Like we talked about the Jets game. I thought he played well against the Jets. You know what I'm saying? And I think, you know, a lot of people are like, they'll say like Jamin's in trouble or this, that, and the other. But I like that they're showcasing him every which way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like it. I like that they're showing him, to let him play defensive end a lot. I like that he's still practicing with linebackers. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's good to have his hands in every cookie jar, right? In every situation, because it's gonna make him a better football player. You know what I'm saying? Like, I made it, you know, I said like he could be a poor man's Micah, right? I joked around and said it. Like, I'm not saying Micah, right? But it's good that the coaching staff is using him in a way where they're getting an opportunity to say maybe he could be that. We're gonna see if we could utilize him that way. If we could utilize him that way, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I feel like him playing long in the preseason isn't a bad thing. It's like he's learning a new position. It's teaching. Like, you're teaching. It's a teaching moment. So sometimes I think people get really thought into like, why is this dude in the preseason game so long? Some people need to learn the system. It's it may be they believe him. They just want them to get better and know they can do it. Live, exactly.
When you're at practice, you start figuring out each other's tendencies, right? Like, when you live, you have to be instinctual. And that's what they really want to see out of him. They want to see him be instinctual. He talked about that get off of the ball. That is a primary function of a disruptive pass rusher, right? And that requires timing. It requires him to be in the fold and see different things, right? Within the course of a game, down and distance, situational football. And for him to apply it and know where he can use this move that he probably learned this week at practice, or a counter, or this, that, and the third to, you know, so like him playing deep into the game was not a concern of mine or anybody that has seen him over the course of these years, right? Jamin is another person that's really been asked to do a lot over the course of his career here that's been inconsistent. And everybody wants to look at it crazy because he's a first-round draft pick. But look at the development of the player. If Jamin wasn't a first-round draft pick, right?
Yeah, get better.
He'd probably re-sign with this team and find a role, and everything will be good. Like, he can be extra. He can be anything from the starting weak side linebacker to a rotational defensive end to a third down situational guy to somebody that can fill in at any one of the three linebacker spots if somebody important was to get a massive injury. So like, all of this experience matters. Right, all of this experience matters. We know what he is as a linebacker. We know what he is at the outside backer. Like, now they want him to put his hand in the dirt. It's a new position, even though he's pass rushed before. But it's a new challenge. It's a new challenge, a new dynamic. That proximity to offensive linemen to 300-pounders that have him by 50 pounds. You know what I mean? These live reps matter, and it's going to determine what he does for this team on Sundays. It's going to determine what he does for this team on Sundays and how much longer he's on this team past this year.
I mean, I think I like it. I think that he's doing different things. I mentioned on the post show the other day, you know, he played well into the fourth quarter. I just want to see him be Be consistent, right? I think he made some grounds last year. He made some improvements last year. Wherever they use him at, and that's why I think he needs to be have that consistency. Be athletic like he's supposed to be, and make plays. Right. We want to see James each year. He's a smart guy. We've seen him improve in the passing game. We're covering running backs and stuff out of the backfield. And that was with the old coaching staff. He's around a good coaching staff right here, right? He's around good people who's teaching him how to be a pass rusher. Good linebacker room. We talked about the linebacker room last time. Bobby Wagner. You got a Ken Norton Jr. You got all those guys in that room. Right. So he's soaking that stuff up. People, I think somebody joked last time about Ray or somebody or in a comment talking about Ryan Kerrigan, but Ryan Kerrigan was a pass rusher, right? But I think it was Taj.
100 sacks.
It was Taj. But again, you got Daryl Tapp that's down there that's helping those guys be D ends. So he'll be teaching them how to be a D lineman. So again, you have people who are teaching Jamin, and again, him not being comfortable at that point early on. I see Jamin getting better, and whatever they use him and whatever he can fill in at, he can become that utility knife for the Washington Commanders and be valuable.
Got some comments. Want to read some questions. My man Deluxe had a question. Said, "Do you think his time at DN will help his recognition at linebacker?" Muff, what do you think, bro?
I believe this team is going to be a 4-3 alignment. So I don't think it's going to help with the linebacker because him pass rushing is him coming forward. Him being a linebacker in a 4-3 defense, mainly probably a cover 3 defense for the most part, is going to require him to be in space and to have play recognition and know concepts and things like that. So I just think it's 2 different directions. So I don't see it making him a better linebacker outside of him having to blitz from the linebacker position.
Got you. George said they want to have his speed on the field as much as possible. I agree. I do think so.
I mean, that's a key. That's a key weapon. I mean, that's a key asset to any defense, sideline to sideline defense. And like the more of them that you can have on the field, because you know Bobby's going to get there. You know Luvu's going to get there. Now, if you have another guy that can come backside and cut off cutback lanes and things like that, then Alabama Wall should be doing what they're doing up the middle. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like that right there is a coach's dream to having an elite rush defense at the very least.
Michael said Jamin going to improve this season. Definitely agree with you, Mike. Taj, my man, said Jamin showed some good things. My concern for him is can the team afford to keep a project player going into his contract year?
I mean, I
don't think. See, the thing is, I don't call him a project player. I think, like for this staff, like for this regime, I guess you can kind of say it. But the one thing I like about Jamin, even with all the knock, and I can be biased, I've always kind of rooted for the kid, is that he gets better every year. Like regardless of if you like it or not, look at his numbers. There's improvement every year. So I think that with way better coaching, he'll become a better player. And that's either he's playing defensive end or linebacker, whatever they're utilizing. This is the most important thing. They're gonna put Jamin in the best situation to be successful. That is the most important thing of all coaching in life. It's not to try to force somebody to do something that you want. Put them in a situation to be successful. Jamin will be in a situation to be successful. Now, that's up to Jamin to take advantage of it, period. But he will be in a situation where he will be successful. We've said this about multiple players. Like that's the theme about a lot of players that we talk about that was under the Ron regime that we're talking about now, is that some of the coaches weren't putting these players in the best situations to be successful. Like we've made this argument for multiple players, bro. So to me, like, I don't think it's like, do they have time for Jamin as a project? I think that like Jamin is finally going to be coached by a good coaching staff that's going to put him in a situation to be successful. We said this last year that Jamin wasn't being put in situations to be successful. I mean, some of these folks in the chat, we've said this last year. So now it's not that he's a project, it's now he actually gets to be coached by adequate coaches.
I mean, I don't see him as a project player. This is the last year of his contract. This regime did not draft him. They have to make a decision on whether to keep him.
That's true.
So it's not a project in a sense. They feel like his best ability is going forward.
Yeah.
Right? If his best ability is going forward within the confines of their defense, because probably they do not like him in space because of what they've seen on film
It's
in
possible.
recent years,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
If he has a skill set with his speed and his bendability, it behooves the organization to have to try something else with a player that they have to make a decision on come March. So
yeah. I'm gonna answer this question. Any word on McGee's knee? Yeah, I don't. Yeah, he still was hurt. He was still banged up at camp, my man. He didn't really practice, so I was looking for him. So I don't think he's gonna play against the Dolphins.
Nah,
So
I don't think neither. He's not. There's no point in playing that.
Yeah, so I'm letting you know. But he looked good. Like he looked good though. Even in his short snaps, so he looked good against the Jets. He got cut and he got cut and still was able to make a tackle. Like his perseverance was amazing on that one play. I know folks have seen it on like social media, but he's got a motor. Like that he plays linebacker. Like that, I will say he plays linebacker. He's not acting linebacker. He plays linebacker. My man Deluxe said, to your point, Diami was used primarily for run blocking by prior staff. He was.
Yeah.
He was. He was. And even that, like, and I was talking to somebody today, and it was like, it was no secret when Diami was in the game. It was like it was one play.
Not right.
Go. That was it. So what do you like? Basically, if I know what he's definitely going to do, it's easy to defend. It's even as fast and as electric as he is, as getting the deep ball. Like, nah, you ain't Randy Moss. We're not like you ain't a guarantee. You're not Calvin Johnson. You're not a guarantee.
You got to get guys in the rhythm, man. You got to get guys in the rhythm before you can specialize them, man.
Now let them run the routes. Got to utilize other types of ways. Maybe bubble screens, other stuff. Try to change it up a little bit more, like with them. Yeah, I'm with you. Like, I don't think they utilize Diami.
You coach basketball, Wole, so like it goes back to the old adage in basketball. If your shot is off, what's the first thing you go do? You go keep shooting one. Go get an easy one.
I keep shooting. Yeah, get it easy. Get a rhythm.
Yeah.
But my thing is like you keep shooting. Get a rhythm. Like it's like a point. You get a rhythm because once you get a rhythm, you're good. Like now everything feels good. So I'm with you, man. Like my man. Let's see what did George? I'm seeing stuff from George. I think George and Todd. I'm read this one from my man Mike. I didn't. Yeah. Let's see what Wiley will do now. He's back. Wiley, the running back.
The running back.
Yeah, I liked him a lot.
He's
bro.
tough. He's tough.
He's tough.
He's tough, and they run downhill.
I'm gonna tell y'all who looked good though. Like who looked good at camp. Like Zach Ertz looked amazing. Terry looked great. Like I won't lie to y'all. Terry looked great.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Robinson, obviously, like I said, Jaden already. Jaden was good. Brian Robinson looked good out the backfield, like catching the ball in the backfield. He looked real good. Like not like they used him slipping out, not like an actual, you know what I'm saying, not like running routes or anything, but slipping out. Like Jaden has a comfort level giving him the football. Eckler obviously doing the same thing. There is chemistry with that, but Zach Ertz, I'm telling y'all, that one, if he stays healthy, Zach Ertz is a problem. He is a problem.
He's always been somebody that was very, very what's the word they use when you
astute, resourceful.
He's definitely astute, right? He's definitely, what do they call it? He's definitely a wily veteran. I'm just gonna use wily veteron, right? Like he's crafty.
Oh, wily. Oh, he's talking about the tackle. Yeah, he was.
No, I'm talking about.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. No, you're good.
Yeah, so he was our guest was talking about the tackle. That's what I thought you guys were talking about.
Yeah, he said why he's talking about the tackle. Yeah, Mike was talking about the tackle.
I didn't know there was a running back.
He's talking. Yeah. Yo,
okay. Oh, yeah, he was there, man.
He was there.
I ain't a big fan of Wally. I hold you, bro.
Hey, Glenn,
I was looking at him crazy. I was looking at Wally crazy, right?
Priceless, Glenn.
Yeah. Look, come on. All that Wally can do is block for the dude.
I'm telling you, Wally can't block, man. Don't get me started. Did y'all notice how B-Rob running lower this year? Yeah, he looks. Yeah, I have.
He's good.
Paul.
He's good.
Good point, bro.
Y'all gonna have to sell me on B-Rob, man. I'm sorry. I got to see it.
No, he look good, bro. Sorry, I'm taking you the buck. He look good. He look different too.
Yeah.
I'll be here to see it.
He got. I mean, you gotta look. I mean, dude got shot in the leg, man. He looks even more explosive.
Yeah, right. I mean, he bouncing back, dog. His career was almost over.
He will get carries now too. He's not gonna have like that non-carry stuff. He will get carries with Because I ain't gonna lie. Like we said this on our post game show. Kingsbury's running the rock. He was running the ball. Surprising, he was running the ball.
Yeah.
If he does that with Jaden, I feel like they'll be okay. Not gonna.
I like the point that you mentioned earlier, though, about him catching the ball out the backfield. Like, I think that if this offense is going to go far, I think that B-Rob started to put some of that on display last year. I'll give him credit for that. Yeah. And that if he can do that consistently this year, then teams won't know what's going to happen depending on what running back's in the game.
Oh yeah,
and I think that's going to go a long way for this organization this year.
I think play action is going to be this team's best friend. Play action and the rotation of running backs. Yeah, because you got different speeds, you got different type backs.
Yeah, Deluxe, you talking about the route he hit when he hit chin width, he didn't get the ball, or you talking about the fade catch he caught? Because he had a day. Terry had a day. I ain't gonna lie, Terry had a day. He was doing stuff like because Jaden checked down when Terry already had chin juked out his shoes, bro. So Terry was on one. Like I ain't gonna lie, like the two wide receivers were on one. Like don't get it twisted. Them two were on one. Jahan and Terry, they were working. They were definitely working.
Hey, as I mentioned earlier, you can't talk about wide receivers without talking about quarterbacks, right? Because that means he's getting them the ball, right?
He was good.
It is different when you have a quarterback who gets the ball not late, who gets it there on time, and it also makes it different when receivers are catching it too. So,
my man Mike said, B-Rob running like that to hold on to the ball. I mean, he don't fumble like that, but yeah, he fumbled like a couple of times. He don't fumble like that though.
No, he don't fumble.
He don't fumble like that for real. All right, man. Let's get into like Sunday's game, man. I mean Saturday's game against the Miami Dolphins. Washington's traveling to Miami. Lucky them, man. They're going to Miami. That's what's up, man. God bless them. But Glenn, what do you want to see out of Washington in the game? Not in Miami, but not part of Miami. What you want to see them play against the Dolphins, man? What do you want?
I think this is the last game we can see our starters. I don't want to see the starters play up into 2 quarters, right? Play everybody. If you're a starter. I don't want nobody set on the sideline. I don't want nobody to be out unless they're injured. But I want the starting offense, all 11 dudes, to play at least 2 quarters, right? Want to see more than one series with Jaden Daniels. I want to see 2 quarters. Because, again, we know they're not playing the third game, right? Because the third game is for –
so it sounds like – I'm letting you what it sounds – because he said he wants to go after this game. He wants to go through a different regimen, like as if he's getting ready for the season, going to the third game. I'm letting you know what it sounds like. The third game may be their dress rehearsal. Just letting you know.
And that's a home game, right?
Yeah, it sounds like it against the Ravens. It sounds like he made it seem as if, and he could be playing the okie doke, but he made it seem as if because they do have a scrimmage, so that everything changes now. Got the scrimmage. He made it seem as if this game, Jaden may not get that much work.
Okay.
Just let you know.
That's the biggest. That's the better team to try your.
The Dolphins or the Ravens?
The Ravens. I think that's
test. I know. But I'm only. The mentality is going to be the better team, but I'm not sure if they're going to play their players. You know what I'm saying on that third game. That's the only thing. But I don't know what Miami's going to. Miami may not want to do it either because they have the scrimmage. Like, you know how teams act with the scrimmage. They act real funny because you have the scrimmage, so they feel like that's the work. You know what I'm saying? So, but the Ravens, to your point, Mo, the mentality is good for Jaden, though, right? Because even when they're second-tier players, they're going to be aggressive. Like their second string, third string, they're going to be aggressive.
But
they only play one
their
way.
Second group is always good. The way
exactly. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it may still work out that way to a point where it's still good work. It's good bump.
To Glenn's point, Glenn was saying that when Glenn said 2 quarters, I was like, whoa, that's a lot of football.
Yeah,
it's a lot, right? That's a lot of football. Like if he played one series last game, right? So if he plays 2 or 3 series this game, then I think it opens the door for that dress rehearsal for Wole where he plays the whole quarter, right? If he plays the whole quarter-ish, you get him out. I think it'll be good for Jahan to see multiple defenses though.
Yeah. Let's go for everybody see it.
My man Deluxe, he said I could see. I interpreted that very differently. To me, it sounds like the week leading up to the third game would be different. Don't think starters would play week 3. He made it sound like okay. I hope, but it sounds like I don't know. But maybe I'm wrong. But it sounds like they're going to play.
Yeah,
I would like to be wrong because I don't like playing the third game. The last game.
Playing starters week 3, dog.
Because look, man.
I don't like
everybody do it differently, man. Some teams
Yeah.
did. Last year, some folks were doing that though. Last year, some folks were doing that. This is a different regime, bro.
It is. It's different.
Yeah, I'm just telling you. Last year, some other teams were playing their starters in the last game like it was the dress rehearsal.
I mean, like you said, Wiley just came back this week, right? Like I think he would need more time to get under his feet. Like if these guys are starters, like it's not completely off the scale to do it in the third game. To do something really. In the third game, to do something. I don't know about how.
Because you're gonna have all your players to be healthy by then. Because Coleman won't play. Coleman definitely won't play in the second game. Because he's still hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And he's supposed to play left tackle. Like he's supposed to be the left tackle.
So you might want that might be why he said he wanted to see the dress rehearsal.
Yeah. So,
right.
Yeah. So George said if Daniels isn't playing in week 3, then Glenn is right. He needs a half. If he's playing week 3, then okay.
Play him a quarter.
Play him a quarter.
I agree with George on that. I mean, that's what you do. You want,
I think you kind of you'll get the gist of it after Saturday.
Yeah, because
you'll know if he plays a quarter. I think you have a good idea he'll be playing in the last preseason game.
Right. I want him to face live bullets. I want him to face a good pass rush.
And
right?
that's what I was about to say.
I want to see. You don't get that sample right from a Jet. Let's be honest, a Jet defense who missed starters. Right.
A lot of them too. A lot of starters are out.
So you want to be able to see that against a quality defense, defense that's consistently, within the top 10 or 15. And then on the flip side of the ball, you want to see if this Commanders defense can match up with the Miami Dolphin offense and things of that nature to see how they progress and what they need to work on.
Mike said, I want to see this energy all 4 quarters from the team than last season.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the hope. That's the hope of changing the regime, ain't it? That's the hope of changing the regime. It's like everybody coming together, find out what works, gelling. Making sure that there is a clear plan. And like JD is gonna have his ups and downs because he's a rookie, unless he's a rookie, And like the normal rookie, I don't think anything is gonna be outlandish.
We playing Patriots. We ain't playing the Ravens. We playing Patriots the last game of the year. Are we not playing the Ravens no more?
No Beltway Classic, no 495 battle.
Oh, I thought I swore we playing.
They don't want to play us again. We beat them last time. Let me stop.
Oh, I thought for some strange reason I thought we was playing the Ravens.
No.
Oh, my bad, Paul. My bad. Damn. I would always assume we played the Ravens. I didn't even like. Okay.
That's always the last game.
It's always the last game.
Not this season, they said.
Oh, okay. Well, then in that case, yeah, it is. Dang, I don't even know. I don't know. That changes everything in terms of my perception about
who. No.
Because they don't play. They might not run preseason the same way.
Yeah, give Jaden a quarter this week and call it a day, man.
Yep.
I still don't think that's enough ball for a rookie.
That's not a lot. That's not a lot of work, though.
I don't think that's a lot of work for a rookie if he misses that third.
Yeah, I don't like.
I don't see him playing into this. I don't see him playing.
I would play him second half. I know what this game. I'll play him play him the whole first half.
I don't see him playing 2 quarters. I would put my money on that. 2 quarters is a lot.
I mean, he looked good. I ain't gonna lie, he looked good, but I don't. My old school mentality is that a rookie should still see.
He should be able to see
for a whole half of football.
Yeah,
and that's just my whole that doesn't. That's just how I operate. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
One drive, one deep ball making up most of that, and one deep ball making up most of that. That's right.
That's true. They don't. That's true. I think that you're right. They don't. Yeah, that's right. When they play in the regular season, because they play him in the regular season. That's true.
Oh, so they don't want to give him nothing.
Yeah, right. That's true. That's right. I forgot that he's right. He's definitely right about that.
Good call on that, Deluxe.
Yeah, he said, "Hey, just don't man up on Tyreek in the slot with no help like last year." Oh yeah. Tyreek 5. The real talk. Tyreek 5 ain't playing.
Probably not playing.
Tyreek don't need to touch the football field till week 1.
Huh?
Tyreek don't.
You know what you got with Tyreek? He's probably not playing.
You got with him. But again, our secondary is not that great.
No hamstring.
Not that great.
What'd you say, Glenn?
I said the Commanders secondary isn't that great. Whether Tyreek is playing or not, The rest of the
They're
receivers
not going to
still
play.
court.
Real talk. They're not going to play because the way they operate was all speed. They're not going to play either of them dudes. They're not going to play Waddle or Tyreek. They don't want to risk like some type of hamstring or groin injury.
Right.
Tell Emmanuel Forbes get ready for Odell.
That's right. He got Odell. He ain't the same.
I don't think so. I'm just saying.
He ain't the same. Michael
saying.
says second week against the Giants is going to be our first division win. Definitely.
Yep.
Does this person know you? Because he said the Giants off the rip.
God bless you, Mike. God bless you, Mike.
Yo.
You know who comes back week 2, right, Mike?
Who comes back?
Danny Dimes.
Who?
Danny Dimes.
Yeah, he beats us. I know he does.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating.
I don't know why y'all talk trash to that dude. That's the one person you shouldn't talk trash.
I don't talk trash. I don't talk about.
Y'all beat Jalen Hurts.
I don't talk about that dude. I don't talk.
Y'all
About,
beat
like
Jalen Hurts. Sometimes y'all beat Dak Prescott, but y'all don't beat Danny Dimes.
Look at Mike. I don't talk about that dude, man. He's like Candyman to me, bro.
Yeah, don't say his name 3 times, Mike.
Like I don't mention that dude, bro.
Yeah, don't mention it.
That dude be like, I ain't gonna hold you. That dude annoys the hell out of me because he beats my squad. I don't know how he does it, but he does it. I don't know. He looked like Joe Montana for one day.
Every year.
He do.
and it always seems like it's in FedEx.
Look, couldn't even beat Tommy freaking DeVito. Like, exactly.
You
like,
mean Danny DeVito? Let me stop.
Couldn't beat Tyrod Taylor or Tommy DeVito.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it's true. These are real statements.
Mike, leave that alone, Mike.
I leave that team alone, bro. Here you go. George, man. George, can you love, man? People sleeping on the Giants. They were the one NFC East team that didn't quit at the end of the year.
Yes,
last year.
That's right. That is correct.
George, man, you're supposed to be a Commanders fan. I'm gonna need you to stop there, man.
Listen, man, this is a Commanders podcast, okay? But truths are truths.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you before we roll out, like I'm gonna tell folks, like, hey, Daryl Tapp is that dude as a coach, bro. Like, I would play for that dude. Like,
I heard a lot about his energy,
bro. Like, I would play for that dude. Like, when I'm telling you, like, we got a PG show right here, but I'm telling you, the stuff that's coming out that man's mouth, and to get them boys hype, bro. I was like, damn. Like, I'm sitting there just nodding my head, like, yeah.
Like, you ready to run to the brick wall?
Like,
you ready to take somebody's
like,
home?
I'm ready to go. Like, I'm sitting there like, yeah. People
Put me in,
like,
coach.
Like, yeah.
Put me in, coach.
Like, I'm gritting my teeth, like, yeah, man. I'm in it. Like, I'm in it with, like, yeah. Like, he's telling, like, and he's singling dudes out, like, go to work. Like, he's cussing these dudes out individually, not a unit. He's saying he's going at these dudes. I was like, man, you my guy.
Speaking of Daryl Tapp, can I ask one more question? I just need a quick answer. Johnny Newsom.
He ain't play. He wasn't there. He ain't practice.
Okay.
He didn't practice because he's still hurt. He's like still
hurt.
Taking care of it. He wasn't with the unit.
Okay.
He wasn't with the unit. Who was Deluxe said? Look at the QBs Danny Nichols faced against Washington. Most were OT games or a field goal too. Danny gets too much credit against Washington.
Deluxe, we could talk offline, man. The show is about to wrap up. If you really want to,
hey.
Mo will talk to you all day.
Mike said, Giants will beat Dallas and the Eagles, but we will be their first loss in the division. Y'all gonna be you know what? I ain't saying that, man. Look. All I'm gonna say is I don't know y'all beating Dallas or the Eagles, but I know there's always a chance y'all beat us. I don't know why it is, but it just is what it is. I don't know why.
I don't know.
It's annoying. It's so frustrating. It's frustrating in life. I'm gonna lie to y'all, man.
It is
like I be calling Giants games wins and I be wrong. I be hating that crap. I ain't gonna hold you. I be hating it. That's why I'll never look at the schedule. When I'm doing the schedule, I always skip over the Giants. I don't even pick it.
I don't know how
the Giants have had Washington number for years.
How this fan base can we be so confident?
I'm never confident.
They got swept by 2 backup quarterbacks last year. Swept.
Look, man, it's a new regime though. So all I'm gonna say though, it's not Ron Rivera no more though. So that's the only thing. The only thing I'm happy. It's not Ron Rivera anymore. That's the good thing. There's a real coach in the building.
It was Jay Gruden before that. John Beck.
Jay Gruden beat him a couple times. He beat the Giants though. He didn't get swept, but he beat the Giants a couple times though. You're right though. That Kirk Cousins game stands out. That's Kirk Cousins' fault. Know what? I'm not going down there. I'm not going down that route. You know what? You almost got me. That's a good one. You almost got me. You almost got me. It was close. I'm about to end this show because I was about to get pissed off. Thinking about Kirk because I was there. Oh, you almost got me. Hey, y'all, thanks for tuning in, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. On this late Tuesday night, but we had to talk about this, about training camp and what we saw out there. But before we end the show, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts. Just search All Burgundy and Go Everything. Also, tweet us at ABG_everything. Hit us up on IG at ABG_everything. And like our All Burgundy and Go Everything Facebook page. If y'all watch this on YouTube for the first time, hit that red subscribe button. We try and get to 400, and we almost there. So subscribe, hit us up, man. I think I see somebody they subscribed already.
Man, Mike, good luck. Man, get y'all.
Like and subscribe.
Tell a friend, Mike.
Subscribe to us, bro.
Mike,
we appreciate y'all for tuning in. We really do appreciate y'all. I saw a comment, so I want to make sure I respect it and read it out. Deluxe says, see, it had nothing to do with Danny. He didn't even play.
Deluxe, man, do this for me, man. Get all your Commanders fans to hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel,
do
man.
that, bro. Deluxe already subscribed though. Deluxe already know. Deluxe cool.
Get his friends to
get his friends to subscribe.
Mike, get your friends to subscribe. I want to see all your friends
on here after week 2.
I want to see all your friends week 2, Mike. Get all your friends to subscribe. They can see my face too.
Oh man, he's got. Yeah, so don't look. Giant QBs are. Come on, guys.
See? Now you're starting trouble. You should have canceled it. You should have ended the show already, Wole.
Look, I should have, man. Hey, you know what, man? We about to end the show, man.
He enjoyed the comment.
Can't talk about the Giants. I can't be I can't be mad for sure. Yeah, I can't be mad later on if we lose. We better not lose to the Giants. I'm gonna be mad at some of y'all who lose to the Giants. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna y'all jinxed it because I be believing in the little curses and stuff. So y'all better not jinx this for me. Because I'm trying to be calm when it comes to the Giants. Anyway, appreciate y'all for tuning in. You've been listening to All Burgundy and Go Everything, powered by the Urban Sports Scene and Fox Sports Radio, 96.9 FM and 1340 AM. Hopewell, Virginia, for ages. You dig? Deuces. We out.